What's up, everyone? I'm Justin from justin-ravelli.com, and I'm back with week 1, day 4 of Elena and I's training program. Today we're starting off with a seated overhead dumbbell press for 3 sets of 8 reps, whereas in the last upper body session, we started off with a standing barbell press for sets of 5 reps. I notice most people perform horizontal pressing movements like bench press variations before vertical pressing movements like overhead presses if they train all of upper body in one session. I also notice most people perform chest focused movements earlier in the week, like where we see National Bench Day on Monday, before shoulders, which are then performed later in the week when they perform body part splits. There's pros and cons to this method, just like every other strategy dependent on your goals. But since I tend to be weaker at overhead lifts, and because I often see a positive effect on most chest-focused exercises from increasing my overhead strength anyways, right now I'm prioritizing overhead movements first, or when I'm the most fresh. The reason I'm using slightly higher reps than the first upper body day is so that I can train the overhead pattern again while putting less stress on the joints and still giving the shoulders a good training effect. I also like the dumbbells and the versatility of them, as you can choose to do them one arm at a time or rotate your hands to a more pronated, neutral, or supinated grip at any part of the movement you desire. Right now, you're watching Elena's last working set of 8 reps. And in a second, I'm going to let you watch the entire last working set of my 8 reps. Next, you'll see Elena performing chin-ups and myself doing neutral grip pull-ups for 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. We're using this exercise mainly to target the lats over a large range of motion, but to also hit things like the rhomboids, biceps, and forearms. If you control the amount of anterior pelvic tilt or arching of the lower back that's happening, it's also a great core exercise. Another reason I like chin-up and pull-up variations is because they're a closed chain exercise. Here you have to move your body around a stationary object, whereas with a lot of other vertical pulling variations like lat pull-downs, you have to move the object you're holding onto down to your body. Moving on to the flat dumbbell press for 3 sets of 4 reps. As a reminder, it's once we get to our working weight, we then do the 3 sets. I'm just showing you the last of our working sets for the sake of video length. Like any other exercise, there's plenty of variations with this movement. Your technique, where things like hand, elbow, and shoulder position, and even path of the dumbbells, is going to be determined by things like your current goals. Elena and I are using this movement for strength, hence the low rep range, as we performed higher reps of weighted push-ups earlier in the week. Right now, you're watching the last couple reps of Elena's last working set, and in a second, we're going to be coming up to my last working set. more things left. And right now, we're moving into bent over barbell rows with an overhand grip for 3 sets of 10 reps. This is another commonly butchered exercise where people don't really move their scapula or shoulder blades. Rather, they shoot their head forward so they feel like they're completing the rowing movement. In reality, they're just cheating themselves out of an already shortened range of motion back exercise. When doing this exercise, I also stress it's pretty easy for form to break down and have the stress shift away from the intended muscles, the lats, and onto the lower back in front of the shoulders. Lastly, we finished off this session with some triceps work. Here we're letting the shoulders flex or arms straighten a bit more overhead to emphasize the long head of the triceps while keeping the ribs down or core as tight as possible. If you want to see how our entire program is laid out or how we're going to progress each week, check back or subscribe. I hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.
He's flipping people off.